My name is Lilian Held-Khawam, and I have a blog with the same name, with .com at the end. So I am economist for companies, not for political economics, but for companies. And I has been working for a long time for companies reorganization, but I was working on the human side. So the development of companies, yes, but thanks to the development of people development. So it was my specialty, my expertise. And so I worked a lot on business processes also. And so that's why I would be able to understand the term of globalization, which is more than only an integration of a market, a big space for trading. So so globalization is the transformation of the world in processes, in business processes. And this has been able to become reality because of the technology, because of the tool of technology of information and communication. And the problem is that this, until there, is okay, but after they are deviating and they are using people as tool as well as a machine, you see. And my problem starts with this. How do they want to transform people in transhumanists? This shift is a very big problem. It means genocide of humanity, and nobody is stopping them. And for 12 months now, we have seen a real, for me, from my point of view, a kind of genocide or on elder people. And this is really a big problem, and somebody has to take in account this issue.
And so how would you define globalization?
If you want, it's something very complex, globalization, huh? That's why people don't understand what is going on. An example of a set which is globalized, it's the human body, you see. Everything is at its own place, and they are interacting together between them. Huh? And the whole thing has an upper reality. Huh? So the organ has a function, the cell has, each cell will have another function, and after you have the head, which is very important. And when you think about the human body, you are going to think about artificial intelligence. Huh? So it's the pattern, if you want, of globalization. So you have people who are around the world, you have business processes who are around the world, but each element has the exact place the people who manage the project, they gave them. And like this, you can have an identity for the global new world. Yeah.
Could you describe us your books here?
My book.
Yeah,
Yes, this is my book. All this is written inside. And here you have the first one.
Can you maybe describe it in a few sentences?
Yeah. This one is the financial aspect of this, and monetary. Monetary is the currencies and the central bankers, and the financial is more the fund, the investment funds, asset managers, and all these people. And this is central. The financial aspect and all the flows which go with them, it is already central in the new world, and it will stay central, because even if they tell you, yes, we have now to take care of the poor and it's not equal, blah blah blah, the same people who had set up the new order are detaining the capitals, all the liquidities that the central bankers gave them. We have to know very well that without the central bankers, all this globalization would have never occurred. Why? Because if we take our disbalance, the emerging of corporates and the collapsing of states, the one who knew very well how to do it, it's central bankers, the major ones, and the big banks who are called also primary dealers. Why primary dealers? Because they have the privilege to create money from thin air. This is right, but they force you to give them in exchange a counterpart. If you buy a house, you are going to ask for $100,000. They don't have the $100,000, but they are going to ask you to bring the title, the asset you have. Like this, they become the owner, the real owner.
So for people that don't know, maybe could you explain how money is created?
The big scandal of the whole thing, of all this, and above all what is happening today, is the private creation of money and currencies. We have two levels. We have the local level. We have the bank. You go to the bank. You need some money to buy your house, and they are going to credit your account for this amount you ask for. But you have to bring with you the title of property. And you give them this title. So they, in fact, you are living in the house of your banker. Even if it's 10% of debt, you are living in the house of your banker. As long as you didn't give back your principal, it's not your house, because the title is his. But he didn't have the money when you started the transaction. Because you brought your house, he was able to credit your account. So he has a double privilege. One is to create money, and the other one is to ask you to bring something and to somebody who doesn't have anything. This it's on the local level.
So he didn't put anything up himself?
Anything, nothing. And after...
And why is that a problem?
This is a problem because when they create money, first of all, they don't have... It's a royal privilege. Normally, it's a privilege which belongs to people. It's public. It's a public privilege. In democracy, it must belong to people. In fact, when you see the constitution, you are going to see that the central bank has exclusivity to create money. But they create the banknotes, you see, and all the electronic money is banking money. So it's private, it's a privilege. Why governments accepted this, I don't know. It's illegal, because illegal, that means there is no law to allow them to do this. But it's done like this for decades now. Now you have another kind of bankers who create money. They are the primary dealers. So when the US government needs money, normally they have a list of primary dealers who are accredited to create the money against the bills, you know, where they recognize that, yes, we owe you, etc. So this is primary dealers. It's the first creation of the money. And when you search a little bit, this is in this book, when you search a little bit, you are going to find that some primary dealers, you find them in the States, you find them in Europe, you find them in Japan. And it's very interesting because their power is tremendous. It's just unthinkable. No government has as much as they have as power. Yeah.
So the BIS, can you explain what the BIS is?
So BIS, we call them the Central Bank of Central Bankers.
And it's the Bank of International Settlement?
Yeah, Bank of International Settlement.
Yeah.
So BIS is in Basel, that's right. And it's true, a lot of people are very intrigued by BIS and by the architecture of the tower. It looks, it's true that it looks like Babel, Tour de Babel, yeah. Yeah. Also, the European Parliament is inspired by this thing. So I don't have an answer, but we can observe that there is something very evident, obvious, yeah.
Unusual.
Unusual and obvious. They love Tour de Babel. So
Why do you think they like that idea, that symbol? Why Tower of Babel?
I think that globalism is a kind of Tour de Babel because with globalism you are building a whole world, one world, absolutely integrated with the machines, with the resources, with the humans, and it becomes a unique system. It's globalism is a system all over the world, and it's very integrated. And they want they have one vision, one world government, and one language, which is English, and etc. So I think that they want to go on. They are inspired by the Tour de Babel, because in Tour de Babel they were working to build one entity for the whole population. So, and there is something more in Tour de Babel, because they want to defy God. They want to say, we want to be known also like God. And you see the rivalry between them and God.
Basically, we're living in a global system already, but we're thinking...
We are already...
So we're already in the global government, basically.
Yes.
But they're pushing a hyper-regionalism to confuse that point.
It's not to confuse. It's in the project. So, to understand the shift from a public nation, public state, to a corporatized state, we have to go back to Bretton Woods agreements. In Bretton Woods, everyone knows about the dollar, which became the world currency, but we don't know enough about the place of the United Nations and IMF and World Bank, etc., and also what became after the world, how do we say? Trade organization. So it was not immediate for the trade organization, but it was written in the text. And when they did this, they have put the foundation of the new world organization and government. It has been already done. I mean, even if you have been voting for people, electing people, and you see your assembly, national assemblies who are voting text, etc., they are always inspired by United Nations and all these organizations which are supranational. And those organizations are very close to the corporations and to the NGOs, the world of NGOs. We have to know also that some of the NGOs are paid by the one who owns the corporation, the big corporation. So it's a mixture between public, private, corporate, and they are ruling the world since the 40s. It's like this since the 40s.
Maybe could you address who pays the budget of the United Nations?
Who
pays the budget of the United
so
Nations and the World Health Organization?
I found, so for the World Health Organization, we wrote a lot about it. You have mainly the United States, United Kingdoms, but you have also on the top three the foundation of Bill and Melinda Gates, and you have so they are there. And at the same time, they are investing in big pharma. So there are a very high level of conflict of interest between those two situations. Even in Switzerland, they are financing, not too much, but they finance a little bit Swissmedic, which is the authority for the medication.
To this one point, and then move on to transhumanism, but just that basically we are already living in a global system.
Yeah, we are.
Could you say it in the?
We are more and more. I think there are several levels to the globalism. You have we are in it since you are working from your home. When you are working with a distance, when we have split it all around the world, the business activities. So that means you are wearing a shirt. This shirt has been manufactured with stuff coming from China, from Korea, from maybe Africa, from the States. This is also globalism, but after you have levels with globalism. So you have the globalization of territories, for example. That means that we are going to put an end to frontiers, to borders, national borders. We open, the first step is to open the borders, and after we are going to regionalize the open space in smaller spaces, and we are going to create some regions in Europe. It's Euro region. It could be on the former border. Like this, we can be sure that we'll never come back again to the national borders we had before. So, so they sliced the territories, and they are putting inside smart technology, you see. So now you have, in Switzerland, you have two levels of government. You have the normal government, everyone can see it, and the mainstream media, and the other one is an e-government. It's a government, digitalized government, and this one the public doesn't know about it. But it is a reality for several years. They are building virtual administration, public administration, and we outsource the different activities. And this is done, and as I know it, there is no law which allows these people to do such reorganization. You see? So it's something very strange, but it's a reality, and I will show you on the screen later on. And Switzerland, I discovered too also. In 2013, I discovered when Swiss people said, no, we don't want to join the European Union. What they have done, they have created a kind of organization which is registered in the commercial register of Brussels, and it's named Mission de la Suisse auprès de l'Union européenne. So it's an entity. If I look at the website where it is registered, it's a commercial entity. because it is registered beside all the commercial organization you can find in Brussels. And this was in 2013. I discovered this, and so Swiss people said no to European Union, and it was December 6th, 92. In January 93, this has been done. These people, we said, we have two movements with corporations and the people who owns, who has put money, who manage these corporations. They are shaping the world as a company. It's normal because they know how to manage a company. So they think that the public space should behave like the corporate space. And this is something very dramatic, because the public space can't be a company. It can't behave. Why? Because when you are managing a corporate, you have to check all the places to see if you are profitable or if you are losing money. And it's normal. When you own a company, you can't afford to lose money, because otherwise in 1-2 years you are going to go to bankruptcy. So this is important. And in the real life now, what they are doing like in the companies. They want to know what are your competencies, what are you able to give to the community, and if you are a center of costs or if you are profitable, you see. So if you are retired, poor, sick, and you find yourself in those residences, where we had contamination by COVID, they didn't treat them. It's not a secret. I don't know if in the States it worked the same way, but they didn't. Here we know they haven't been treated. So they have been waiting. They don't leave them suffer. They don't suffer when the situation becomes critical. They give them, in France it was Rivotril, the name of the medicine, and like this they don't suffer, but after they die. So now we have a lot of space and places which are available in those structures, because a lot of people died. Those people didn't have any place in the New World Organization. Why? They can't produce. They can't. They cost money because they are not healthy, etc.
So what is transhumanism? What do you say?
So transhumanism, it's a matter. We said that you have people who are becoming very, very rich, and they think that they are the gods, with a small j. So they think they are gods, and if they are gods, they are going to enhance people, and they want to enhance you, really. But it's not for, they are not asking you if you agree or not. This is a problem. They want to enhance you. They want you to be much more clever or cleverer. They want you to develop your muscles, to be able to work much more, to work also the weekends, to have super clever children. We are going to choose them when they are before their conception. We want them with IQ at 180, but we don't ask for their human side. It's not on the program, the human side. Yeah. What is on the program? It's your productivity. We want you to produce more, better, faster. And it has been, since I am working for companies, it has been always the same request.
So they're pushing us towards an unhuman system?
So they want to develop your system. They don't want you to become sick or ill because you are going to lose time, etc. They want to eradicate. I think that they want really to eradicate all viruses, all sickness, and and like this you produce more.
And if somebody...
And it's always they say it is better for the cost, for the economy. You can just notice that very often they add this kind of words. So Ray Kurzweil said that, who is responsible of innovation for Google, he said that by 2030, people will have, they don't ask you, I said, they just emit a statement like this. People will have nanobots in their head. So there is no more any government to ask them, how come a person can speak like this? Because if it's right and if they are able to do it without your consent, it is a big problem. I mean, I don't have the words to qualify this kind of situation, but I can't understand that such people can speak like this on the public place and nobody is reacting. Nobody is reacting. Even in the auditorium, nobody is answering. They don't believe him. A lot of people don't believe him, and they are wrong because they are serious. And nanotechnology, which is one component of the transhumanism, they are really professional. They have really competencies in the field. So what are they, how they are going? Because they say 2030, you will be connected with your brain. So I am asking a question, how are they going to do it? Because I don't know anyone around me who would like to have these things, nanobots in his head. And normally, in a normal world, we take such a person, we put her in at an asylum for, to evaluate if something is wrong in his thinking and in his mind. But we live today, those people have the power, and I have to insist, they have the technology. It's not a fake. There is a lot of fake when they talk about Mars. We are going to travel. We are going to live on the, I don't know, the moon or things like this. I don't believe it. But when they say, when it comes to nanotechnology, it's already everywhere, without any permission. And governments are accepting these people to pollute the world, to pollute the children, to pollute the human beings, the animals, the flowers, the trees. And why is it like this? I don't know. I don't have the answer. I can just analyze.
Or what does this mean, sustainable development, in reality, from your analysis?
From how I understand it, or how it is
well, they're
explained.
Just using these kind of weird terms, right? What do they really mean when they say sustainable development?
Sustainable development, that means they would like to go on with growth. They don't want to stop growth, but they want to change the social organization to be able to maintain the growth. They would like to push back the limits of biosphere. It's written, it's not me. Biosphere, thanks to technology. So they are working on such things. And the first person who is working on it is Bill Gates, who is financing this. And when we talk about geoengineering for the biosphere, people think, yeah, it's a conspiracy theory, etc. But you should go to the website of Harvard University, and you are going to find a big place which is reserved to geoengineering. And it's a reality. And if you are not able to go to this, maybe you can open your eyes and you can see things not so normal, which happens in the sky. Anyway, excuse me, Chinese people said that they want to control the weather. It's said, but they say that they are the Chinese, not the European, not the American, not, it's China. So China can do a lot of things. China is very important because it's a laboratory of the life which will come here, with the social credit and all these things. You see, when I said we want you to produce, we want you to behave such ways, etc., the Chinese are already doing it, and they are evaluating it with the social credit, and you receive points, or we are taking points, and if you are a very bad guy, they are going to put you aside because you are not normal. And this word normal becomes very accurate in the globalism, huh? Because in our world for development, we used to say you just have to be like you feel you want to be. And your creativity will do the rest, and you will be unique, and your unicity is very important. In a normalized, hyper-normalized world, if you are out of the Gauss curve, you are a problem for the society. They don't want you. They want you to obey and to answer to procedures. And the procedures are the level, the low level, the level of the information feedback, of the business processes. So they want to have the same procedures if you are in Switzerland, in France, in Italy, Germany, China. Why? Because the money is the same all over the world. The hand who hold the money is the same all over the world. So they want you to be the same guy if you are in Switzerland, or they don't need anymore your unicity. You have to execute orders.
And so describe how COVID-19 has accelerated these things, or how does this whole saga this last year factor into everything you're telling me?
As I said, COVID-19 is, we say in French, a déclencheur. How do you say it in English? In my book on coup d'etat, I was waiting for the coming out of the governments, that they are going to say, now you stay at home, you are linked to such place with smart cities or smart region, and you don't move from your place, etc. But I was thinking, how is it possible to assign people, to such a situation, especially when you have billion people, and you have people like in Lebanon, they are not very disciplined, so you can't just tell them go home, they are going to I don't know, their reaction will be terrible. So, but if you have a virus, it is easier because people are not sure that maybe there is some danger, they don't see it. And even doctors are scared. So everyone is obeying. And I think it was a great opportunity, as Klaus Schwab said, it's a great opportunity to leave the former world and to make so no coming out. We still don't talk about the project because we can't say that it's something, the new world came from a day to another. It's impossible, huh? It's a very precise project. I worked with a lot of people on big projects. It's the more complex project I saw, and what is very interesting is that people had a lot of problems to go through the management of their project. With this project, which is huge and it concerns the whole world, it is successful. It is really successful. I can say, really, I am very astonished. It's very well done. Yeah, but after what we want to do with such information, this doesn't belong to me to answer it, because I don't have to answer anyway, because the answer must belong to people, where they are, where they live, with their own culture, with their own beliefs. You know, I have my beliefs, other people have their own beliefs, and if we have to defend something altogether, it's freedom, because freedom is not so obvious to obtain.